Okay, welcome to day 4. We're stepping out in this big boy bus. Thank you, Ministry of Tourism. They took care of us. We loved our whip. Hopefully you guys will love it too. Get inside, pick your seat. The tour is getting started. This episode is all about Sierra Leone, all about the history, and all about this man, one of our favorite humans. It's going to be one of your favorite humans, Andrew Fortune Bassie.
I will be your tour guide for your time being in your beautiful motherly and fatherly land in West Africa. Woo! So for this morning, we are going to have a city tour and a tour of the Chimp Sanctuary. Welcome home, and I believe for thousands of years, you were taken away from us, but God has bring you back to us. And He did not only bring you back home, He has bring a whole family back home. We know the journey. You are the messengers, and you are sent by the family for you to represent them, and then you are here. So we are going to have a tour of Freetown, where you have to visit the monuments and relics area. Areas we are in, you have to see some of the old relics. So in that light, being in Freetown, people might want to go close to you. People might want to have pictures with you. Don't be afraid, they are your brothers and sisters.
We want a picture with them.
So, we are going to start the tour by the east end. So we'll come in town at your time. You could tell me for your lunch, and then after lunch, but we want to catch the 4 p.m. chimp tour at the Tacugama Chimp Sanctuary.
Bassie took us on an in-depth tour of the history, the culture, the traditions, the people, everything. Just sit back and enjoy the ride.
Which has been in existence before somebody said they have already discovered an already existing land.
That's right.
Some thousands of years ago, a land which was in existence for over 2,500 years, which a Portuguese sailor by the name of Pedro da Cinta in 1462 said he discovered. He was in search of pure water and salt when he came across this beautiful land. A land which was full of minerals, culture, and lots of things. He renamed this land the Sierra Leone, which means the Lion Mountain. The reason why he named this land the Lion Mountain, it was because of the shape of the island, or the land of itself, the geographical area.
Bassie went into the other reason why it was called Sierra Leone, but that goes back to something that I've always wondered about different African countries. Why don't we change the names back to what it was named before? Or, the African name before the colonizer came and deemed this, I created your history. And the beautiful thing is, Bassie said that Sierra Leone is aware that they need to rewrite their history. We are all so grateful that he made it a point that there was 2,500 years of civilization that was flourishing and existing before the white man came and deems, okay, you are now worthy. But I asked him a question, so what was the name of Sierra Leone by the Africans before the colonizer came? And what an amazing answer. There was no name. And we were talking about it, I was like, why would you're living and existing and flourishing in a place, why would you need to have a name that you tell outside people of what you're called? So I thought that was deep.
Africa was a land that was living in peace. No outbreak of diseases. It was natural with mineral, culture. There were lots of things going on. We used to have spiritual worship. And then we have the Europeans who introduced the Western civilization through religion. So during those eras, slavery was not in Africa. We are living peacefully. If you see our community, We have community here. We don't have society. We believe sharing with neighbors and everything. So when they were here, they introduced religion to our people. But religion was used to transform their minds to civilization. And then we fall in love with Western civilization. And our wealth, those who supposed to build Africa, we are taken away. Not only with their wish, they were shackled, chained, tortured. Men and women were sexually abused, raped. Women were chained as well. Their babies were grabbed away from them.
I know this part is hard to hear, y'all, but you know, it's necessary. It's a necessary small part of our history. And I know in the Western world it gets shoved down as if this is the only part of our history, but don't worry, we're soon past this part and into a brighter today.
When we have the first batch of slaves on arrival here, they arrived on the 10th May 1787. This was an issue. If you have heard about James Somerset,
Yes.
this was the biggest slavery issue in the history of America. And the one page and a half Constitution of the Republic of the Federal States of America, which has been repealed or revised over 200 times or 200 times, is among one of these cases. In 1776, James Somerset was a slave who was working for one of the slave masters in America. He ran away to England, and by then the Slavery Act says when a slave ran away from his slave master, his or slave masters, they have to pay the ransom. So America asked England to pay the ransom for James Somerset. The second batch of enslaved Africans who return. These are called the Maroons.
I know you don't want me to cut it off here. You want to hear about the Maroons, but I just got to piece everything together because I'm chopping up our tour, so I want to make sure it makes sense to you guys. Fast forward past the transatlantic slave trade, Freetown was founded by enslaved Africans that returned home and created Freetown. I can't stress this enough. Take this tour when you come to Sierra Leone. This is the company I went through, VSL Travel. They're a Sierra Leonean based company. You can request Bassie, or they have other tour guides that are amazing too. But I am going to take this tour again when I go back. Just saying, so much information. Too much to share with you guys right now.
This mosque have to approve that for you to buy the property. If the mosque say no, they will not sell this how they want. And you must be a Muslim.
To live in this community?
No. There are Christians living here.
Oh, okay.
So Sierra Leone is 80% of Muslim now, 20% of Christian. But you cannot tell who is a Muslim neither who is a Christian. Muslim can get married to Christian. Christian can get married to Muslim. Christian can go to church. Muslim can go to mosque. So Muslim can go to church. Christian can go to mosque whenever you have activities. We don't have barriers. So that's how Sierra Leone is. And everybody expects the month of Ramadan and the month of the period of Lent in Sierra Leone. So that's how it is. So Freetown is one of the newly found districts among the 16, which is the... Are you marrying a Timney wife? Well, there'll be beats like this. Because Timney women are hardworking, but you cannot ride them. They will not accept you to be bossy. Men, if you ask, you want to marry the men, the woman, oh yes, they are lovely, they are lovable, they know how to take care of men. They want to marry. But if you said, do you want to marry the Limba woman? Yes, 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 yes. Everybody wants to have a Limba wife. They are people who, they are calm, they are quiet.
So let me just jump in right here. If you guys were paying attention in the last episode, I'm a Limba woman. And I have to say, my man always tells me, you're the only woman that I've been with that just wants peace and just wants this. And I'm like, come on, please. But like the things that he was telling me about my tribe, it's kind of scary. It's exactly what my man tells me all the time.
No, he said we're all Sierra Leoneans. At the end of the day.
Every man wants to have Limba women because
I had to put that up just so you could hear that again. No, I'm just joking. Like, you know, like he said, every woman has their strengths. And my favorite thing about Sierra Leone with so many tribes, everyone basically lives as one, truly. Even the fact that he was saying the religious differences, people, like, Christians go to mosques, like, Muslims go to church, and it's like all one. Everyone celebrates Ramadan, everyone celebrates Lent. That's how the world should be. We can't stress this enough, y'all. We are one, even in our differences. So no matter whether you believe yourself an Israelite, or you believe yourself a Muslim, or you believe in Mayat, or you believe in Voodoo, why are we infighting? We should celebrate everyone. Period. This is going to be a completely separate video because I've seen a lot of people recently attacking each other when talking about us black people and the different religious backgrounds that our ancestors came from, and saying you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. That needs to stop. There can be multiple rights.
Freetown was not the entire Freetown. Where you are was a village. Aberdeen was a village. It was not Freetown. That's why it's called Aberdeen Village. This was Freetown. So 3 guns was used. This gun, one of them is visible now here at Up Gun. You have to see this gun. By then, the breaches, if you want to come to Freetown, you need to pay tax after the end of the slave trade. When the slave trade was going on, you don't need to pay tax. But after the slave trade come to an end in 1807, but this gun here was erected before the slavery was abolished in England in 1807. It's just like you people having visa to come to Sierra Leone. That's how Sierra Leonean we are paying for them to come to Freetown. Imagine being born and bred here, you need to pay a tax.
The audacity. Okay, let me stop. You know how I feel about that already. Later on, you guys are going to go to hear about the history of the Temne warrior who fought against the British tax. Yes, this is the gun that Bassie was talking about a couple minutes ago. He's about to explain.
Up Gun was the demarcation line of Freetown. Over there was not Freetown. We have the colony and the protectorate. The colony was the end of here, and the protectorate was over here. That's why the first batch of...
The tour briefly got interrupted by some music that we heard on the streets, and I had to see Wagwan. What was going through my mind while I was watching this celebration, not only was I dancing, and I hope you're dancing along with the music too and enjoying these women's joy, but I was thinking back to what Bassie told us earlier about Sierra Leone being a community and the difference between a community and a society and sharing in. So I was just thinking, look at them sharing their wins. You know what I'm saying? Like they're walking through the streets parading their graduation so that others can be happy. Your win is my win. That's a community. But let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on this? I wish I knew the name of the school to shout them out, but ladies, we were happy for you, we were celebrating with you, we're dancing with you. Keep on winning. No, seriously, all of us were grinning from ear to ear. I don't know why I'm emotional, I'm almost crying, just because of like their joy was our joy. It was very special to see. I wish we could convey that to them there in that moment. Like, you know how Bassie said earlier that people might want to come up to take pictures with us? Like, I'm pretty sure we all wanted to take pictures with them. Even Iggy the Lizard was happy for the ladies. There's a lot of, I'm not sure if you call them iguanas. Anyone who's scared of them. I love them. But, like one of my good friends, Queenie, she might not want to come to Sierra Leone because there is a lot of them. But I'm telling y'all, go home to your ancestral lands, wherever it is. There's a different connection you have to the land, to the people. Like, it literally feels like we know them. It literally, it's a different sense. I am a Pan-African person. Later in one of the tours, someone says basically we're Africans, but we're Sierra Leone first. That's the only thing I disagreed with the whole day. I'm very much, I think we should all be Africans first. And then, not even maybe Sierra Leoneans, we should be tribe second, and then Sierra Leoneans. All having the same equal weight, but just in that order. Like, really and truly, the Sierra Leonean, Ghana, Uganda, Nigeria, all those borders were not created by us, so we shouldn't really value them as much as we do. But yes, have pride in where you come from.
Oh, my lovely mom, good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Fine.
Good.
You have a guided tour.
Okay. So, I think you probably read the sign. This is the National Railway Museum. We're about to take a tour of the history of the railway in Sierra Leone.
I hope you could enjoy the visit in Sierra Leone and Railway Museum as a whole. And we'll start the tour here. This is our Facebook page. If somebody wants to know about us, this is our Facebook page here. And so, not to be forgotten, as a hero of railway, all his lifetime is about railway. When he was a young man, he was trained, and then on to the closing of the railway. So for him not to be forgotten as a hero of the railway, and the days when these trains were running in this country.
So he was explaining how the railway used to be a dominant source of employment and livelihood, and they're trying to get the railway system modernized and back active again. Sorry y'all, I'm moving so quickly over the photos you can't really see. I love looking at vintage photos just to see what the country looked like in a certain time period. I think those were like kind of saying like 1908. But let's just jump inside one of the old vintage railway cars. Let's go. Okay, so we're inside. This was an actual railway car, if I was understanding correctly.
These are the names of the governors. I'm sorry that
They used to have lights.
Yes, they used to have lights before. So this is the original ceiling of it. The original ceiling. There is a bathroom.
So how did they collect the water then? I see the pipes. So how did they collect the water for the bath? Right.
Take big tanks that carry a lot of water.
Right.
Like the operation of the steam engine.
Right.
So there were connection there. Even some of the engines we are experiencing of getting power batteries in the colonial days. There is a coat, that's Fitter's coat. They used to have generator there. If they experience. Mind your step, please. Mind your step. Sure.
And quick question, were the governors only British at that point in time? Or no African?
No, they're all British.
British, okay.
Yeah. If you can get an entrance in there, you will see the photos of the Queen during our visit, and there's a balcony there wherein she will have stand and wave to people when going up country, seeing some important objects of the country. You can come in, the Queen, the Kings.
Right, we're the real queens.
Yes.
You say she never used this.
She never used this. These are the photos during our visit. As you can see them here. And this the balcony here where she would have stand and wave to people. And I think you people will be here to take a picture. We are the railway enthusiasts, my brother. Yes, let's get it up here.
Photo shoot time! Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is where you guys get to hear my rant about Queen Elizabeth of England. She's not my queen. And like Julius Malimos said so eloquently, we don't mourn a colonizer. And I know people might seem like it's harsh. I didn't comment when the Queen died. I heard a lot of people saying, oh, you need to respect people and the dead. Let me make this clear. I was one of those people who were celebrating privately, Because I don't even, they're a non-factor to the point where, I mean, I could care less what the good or the bad that happens to people like that. But if I had to choose, I was celebrating. Because down with anything to do with colonialization, including our colonial mindsets, all of us. I'm not sure if people understand. We've been so conditioned and somewhat brainwashed. This woman is the symbol, the shining star of colonialization. Her country, what they did to black and brown people all around the world was destruction and crippling people and countries so that they're dependent in order to benefit their royal coffers and their country and their power. So let's not talk about respect. And I know they want you to think that she was just like a lovely woman who just waved. She was far from that. Okay, sorry y'all, back to our regularly scheduled program. Back to the gentleman telling us about the Railway Museum. Actually, before we go back to our tour guide, let me just say this. When I heard that we were stopping at the Railway Museum, I wasn't necessarily intrigued. I wasn't sure if I'd be interested in this, but this brother was so passionate about this part of the history, and he did such an excellent job of educating us, and really me, because I was probably the only one who was skeptical. He was educating us about the importance of your railway as a country, and the importance that if we can, diaspora, we need to figure out how to help Sierra Leone rebuild this railway and make it prospering and thoroughly, not just for the employment that it brings, but somewhat he who controls the railway controls the resources, or at least the distribution of the resources, right? And I was talking over the map of Sierra Leone's minerals. I think everyone knows how blessed the Most High has blessed Sierra Leone with natural minerals and resources, but this is going to be on repeat. We need to figure out a way for Sierra Leone and Sierra Leonean people to benefit from her resources. For Africa and Africans and the diaspora to benefit from her resources. Period.
That those are the position where the gauge is there.
The break. Yeah, this part's cool.
Minus 10, minus 10. Oh my brother, thank you.
Absolutely, safe.
Yes. Come on.
Does this work?
Let's just I think when we find the museum 2004, we met it in a scrapyard. We cut it into 4 pieces. Find for it here, do some working for it. So we can say, young man, you can join us. Yes, we are getting a trip from here to Penyambu.
Oh, are you gonna move? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I wanna go out. It's not gonna move.
You think it moves?
You can stand over here. Okay. So just like
it does. Oh, it does move. Oh, we can make it happen. Where we going? That's what I'm talking about. It actually gets very easy. Yeah, it gets very easy once you get started. Okay, the track stops here.
Stop it. Use technique to stop it. The brake is not acting that. You just stop the pumping and block the riding. See?
How you gonna do
Careful, please.
That was fun, y'all. To our next stop on the city tour. I was getting a little limba lesson right before we jumped out.
Welcome to the Anthems of West Africa, and welcome to the Citadel of Lani. The building which you are seeing, it is the first Western type of university in the whole of West Africa, and it is the third oldest university in the entire Africa. It was built purposely for theology by the British in 1827. Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, the Gambia, Nigeria, all of them were having education in Sierra Leone. It was built after the fall of Timbuktu University, one of the oldest universities in Africa. Here, downstairs was where they were having lectures. You have the second floor where the students were residing, and you have the top where the lecturers, and there was a library. The old Fourah Bay College opened up an educational system of Western education in all of West Africa, wherein lots of them become prominent people in society. This university produced our first Prime Minister, Sir Milton Augustus Yabos Magai, our first President, Siaka Probin Stevie. A land which was bought, later become a refuge place for people who were suffering during the Civil War. Some of these building in wheels you are seeing are from wreckage ships, which some slaves arrived with here. So they used part of the wreckage ships to build this building. You can see the two cross here. It was later changed to education, medicine, and other things when Sierra Leone have independence. So you are now standing at the first black university in West Africa and the first Western type education university for black students in the whole of West Africa, and the third oldest university in Africa. So in 1999 it caught fire.
That's right, I read about that.
So 1999?
Yes. In 1990, when the Civil War started, this was like a refuge place. So you see, this was where they used to have lectures. And that's the corridor, walking in and out. And then you have it was a 3-story building of the Queen Elizabeth II. So this back stair was mostly used by students.
Guess what time it is? Photo shoot time!
They knew if they go into the communities, it will be difficult because they have been there and then they have chained them. So they want black people to go in there now and then start saying the sermon.
This is why they teach them.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why these places are such a mix of emotions.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Saddened.
right,
Yeah, because they were the ones sent to brainwash.
education is a great thing, but not when it's used to destroy us. You know.
Hope you guys are enjoying this tour like I enjoyed the tour. I'm enjoying just editing it and watching it back again. I feel like I'm in Sierra Leone all over again. But now I just have to say, we actually stopped for lunch, and we stopped at Crown Express, which is actually, I'm not sure if you guys remember from day 2, I believe. That's when we went to our first restaurant outside the hotel. I believe it's Lebanese owned, or at a certain standpoint white owned, which we were cool on going to the first one, but when we were going to eat there again, half of us mutinied and we wanted to go to an African owned place. So we went around the corner to Cafe La Rousse. Thank you, Bassie, for being so understanding. You know, certain things are very important to us, and let's keep it real. I understand why most of the stops go to places like that, because maybe for us Americans or us diaspora, it's easier to pay in those establishments with Visa or credit card, or, you know, there's more a selection of food that we might be used to, pizza, etc.
Cafe La Rousse? Yes.
You're welcome. My name is
Thank you.
Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, we wanted to come to an African-owned place.
Yes, and I saw some.
Yes, that's why we're here.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You have cassava leaf.
Yes, I want
Have you
cassava.
tried that one?
No, but I hear it's really good. I want some.
But just look at the warm welcome from my Sierra Leonean brother Patrick. That just reminded us why we needed to eat at an African-owned place. I ordered, you guessed it, fish. No, not barracuda. It was a different type of fish. I wish I remembered because it was really good. And this was the brand of fruit juice, Sierra. So you know, research time. So this is the owner. But the pluses out of the article are that The fruit is locally sourced from a lot of different local farmers, and prior to this, a lot of Sierra Leoneans or Freetonians weren't drinking juice, so this is a healthy option that has been infused as part of the culture.
Leone Citizenship.
Leone Citizenship.
You got it.
So what did I just say?
So you have a tour, a guide who will take you. Go and just follow me. You can move around, and they will give you a guided tour of the Peace and Cultural Monument. John.
Okay.
So yeah, welcome to Sierra Leone Peace and Cultural Monument. 14 years ago, this monument was established by the Sierra Leone Armed Forces. They want to create a relationship between the civilian and that of the military, and to tell us that we have created men in the army, to give up history about Sierra Leone. And it was done during our regime or after the Civil War. This place was done. And once more, you are welcome. You have two beautiful ladies. They are also there welcoming the Sierra Leone Peace and Cultural Monument in our traditional setting. If you go down to them, this is how they will welcome the. They are without clothes, and that's the pot. There's water in it, so they are welcoming you.
Okay.
So you're saying those two females are traditionally dressed, welcoming you to the Peace and Cultural Monument. That's what this whole kind of outdoor museum is called. So when you get to Sierra Leone, ask to take a tour. Just learn a little bit more of the history.
The year of the old tax war, when the British said these people should pay tax, he said, why my people should pay tax for all land belongs to them. So he revolts against the British. Born in the northern part of Sierra Leone in Potomac district in a village called Castle. He was given a nickname. It belonged to one of the ethnic groups in Sierra Leone, the Timlin.
We heard on another tour, you're such a wicked fighter, because each tribe has different spiritual powers, and Bayabora was said to have been able to disappear. That's why he was so dangerous in the battlefield. Yes, so you guys, a lot of the things we see in movies in Hollywood, they take what happens in Africa and make it into like superhero powers. Like, we are really that special of a people. We need to get back to our traditional African ways to protect ourselves. This is said to be the only picture of Bayabora. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, y'all. Thank you, King, for putting up the good fight.
He was the hero of the Amistad Revolt. This is the Amistad boat. Is it a three-deck boat? It was captured and sold to a Spanish slave trader. This is the Amistad boat, a three-deck boat. Down here is where the slaves were, middle is where they're from, and masters were, up is where they're doing the negotiations. But when they were in this boat, he was the head of all the slaves in this boat. One of the girls was having affairs with one of his masters. He took the knife and a knife over to Shembepia. He cut the chain and that of his fellow slaves. They revolted against their former masters and asked the captain to take them back to Sierra Leone because they were headed to Cuba. But they were saying this thing in our local language: take us back to Sierra Leone, take us back to Sierra Leone. But unfortunately for them, they were ambushed by the Americans and they were charged for 2 counts more than piracy because this boat does not belong to them and they saw dead body in this boat. There was a boy called Kelly. He goes to the 6th president of the United States, John Quincy Adams. Because he was an abolitionist, stand for them in the court of law and they were set free. So I know you wonder, I think Mr. Bassie will have to take you to Bones Island.
You guys are going to Buns Island tomorrow, day 5. This is such a long episode, y'all, but a necessary one. Please stay to the end. Please like, subscribe, set your notifications so you can stay on this journey, which hopefully shows my love for Sierra Leone and yours.
These are dolphins. This is just we have them in Sierra Leone. This is their season. If you go to Kent now, in November to December, you will see them. We don't eat them. It's like we call a rescue team. They normally rescue people when they want to drown in the sea. Yeah.
And oh yeah, do me a favor. If you make it to the end of this video, just put in the comments like 3 green hearts or 3 blue hearts or just 3 hearts, just so I know that you guys don't mind watching an episode this long.
The first female queen we have is West Africa. She started what we call a female genital mutilation because in those days there was no schooling. She taught women how to take care of the home, even when they lost their husband, how to raise their children. And she was given a silver medal by Queen Victoria because of her loyalty. This term, normally, the man at the back is, normally when you go to our traditional villages, when a paramount chief is moving from one direction to another, they're at the back praising that particular paramount chief. And up to now, this system is still going on. So we always remember in the history of Sierra Leone, the Garden Blue Hotel now was once called Mamioko Hotel.
Yes, so remember in day 1 I told you guys Radisson Blu is called Mamayoko Hotel, and we'll talk about her later. She is someone, the jury is still out whether I love Mama Yoko, because in the deeper story about her, she used alliances and being able to navigate using the British and kind of even allowing them into the secret societies of the Africans as her leverage and power. So even though she was a master negotiator and she did a lot for women's rights and certain things, at the end, her people found her to be a traitor somewhat, and she actually hung herself because of her betrayals. So, I don't know. There are some positive things about Mama Yoko, but I'm not necessarily a fan. But she is a national hero, so I mean, obviously I'm showing respect. But you know, I gotta give my thoughts.
No matter you live Sierra Leone, anywhere you go, just remember that you are a Sierra Leonean. So just think about your home. So we always tell you that when you are coming, say yes, you are Sierra Leoneans. So you always remember Sierra Leone is your home. When you go to Bones Island, there is a place they will tell you. When the Secretary General of the United States said,
General Colin Powell in 1992 visited Buns Island, but also at a departure ceremony at the Freetown airport, he stated, "I am an American. I am the son of Jamaicans who emigrated from the island to the United States. But today, I am something more. I am an African too. I feel my roots here in this continent."
just come to take our minerals and leave us where we are today.
Yeah.
You see, it's like they gave us a popular song when we were young. They said, "We are all going to our classes with clean hands and faces to pay great attention to what we are told. Or else we shall never be happy and clever. For land it is better than silver and gold." So they said, you go and learn your book. We are coming to take all of your minerals. So this is how Sierra Leone we are living now. We have dignity in labor. We have fertile land. If we change our attitude to all these things, then Sierra Leone will be a great one. Land is better than silver and gold, but today we say land is better with silver and gold, because if you have money, that's the end of your bills. Always pay your bills if you want the government to do more. So you always pay your bills. We all are one. It means we are all one. So no matter whether you are black, white, as long as you are Sierra Leone, we are all one.
We'll talk about that one later.
This is the whole map of Sierra Leone, but all of this picture you are seeing, we have agriculture and minerals in all of them. So this is how Sierra Leone is blessed. Just as I was saying, it's like just because of our attitude, you know, and it's divided into four parts. We have the north, we have the south, the east, and the west. So the north, south, east, all of these districts they have minerals. This is how our two villages are setting. If you go down to our villages, this is how they are. This is how our people they enjoy themselves. This is how they live in our villages. These houses you are seeing built by mud, they are so cold. If you go in there, you thought they have air conditioning, even if they offer you water. But this is how our people they live. You can see them there without clothes. During festive season, some of us like to go to our villages during festive season because we just want to live the normal life as they are living. This is how they enjoy themselves, have fun, and live their life they want to live. But this is how they are set. The man there is like a Patinka, he's called Patinka. He has been thinking for Sierra Leone up to now, he's thinking since independence. He's thinking what the president is going to do for his people. He's thinking how the president is going to do the needs of his people. So that sometimes the president will be out there looking at this man because that's the office of the president. So he will be up there looking at this man and say, "Oh, we have to do more." In those days, it was called the Fountain House. It was where the governor they were staying. Built in 1895. But after independence, it changed to the office of the president. So now our president just come and walk in the evening and goes home. So that's the office of the president, the state house.
Why are the people so light? They need a little bit more color. I mean, this is getting closer. Don't mind me.
Always giving trouble to my tour guides. Like John Lewis said, good trouble that is. So that traditional village he was referencing, I'm going to take you to mine on episode... You know what, I'm not even going to tell you what day because I want you to watch them all. Just keep on watching. Right after this, we're heading to the famous cotton tree that's in the center of Freetown. Very symbolic. But I ran into my Limba tour guide for tomorrow.
I'm going to be a guide, so I'm going to take her tomorrow to the northern province, Briwa Limba Chief. She's a Limba. And then tomorrow, I believe we are going to have an interactive talk. We are going to discuss. She's going to ask a lot of questions, and I will respond to her questions.
Yes, a lot of questions. So what did you just say in Limba to me?
Wali Wali?
Wali Wali, what does that mean?
Hello?
Hello.
How are you? Namena Kotogo, meaning, how are you doing?
Nayama
Namena
Kotogo.
Kotogo. Meaning how your body. Yeah.
I see you laughing at me.
Yeah. He's my brother. He's also
Okay.
We're walking over to the famous cotton tree, but this tree nearby is infested with bats, y'all.
Standing at the center of Freetown. The cotton tree is home for our forefathers who returned back, our ancestors who were enslaved out of Africa to different parts of the world. This is their first home, and this is the church. On arrival in England and America, lots of things were said to these people, that there is shelter, there is pure water for them to drink, there is land for them to farm. But on arrival, nothing was met. It was a vast forest, no path and no place for them to sleep. Even the crops which they brought back from Europe and America never germinated here because of soil formation. And the weather changed here also. In that light, these people found a tiny tree here which they become homes for them. There we are sleeping underneath this cotton tree. And this is the cotton tree where the first prayed on arrival. Whilst they were here, they were doing barter system.
Who is the present president of the Republic of Sierra Leone?
Y'all, I skipped over the cotton tree. The energy there was too powerful, too strong. I didn't know what was going on. I was just being told to be still and stay where I was. So I stayed across the street. It was something that I was really looking forward to going to and seeing, but yo, I don't know whether it's good energy or bad energy, but something was around that tree. There's also so many bats, hundreds and hundreds of bats. And you're going to see that as a reoccurring theme coming up in the future episodes.
We look at the northern part of Sierra Leone, that's how the hut is being built. You see how they put it in order, like standing in queue. That's how in the northern part of Sierra Leone, especially in the Limba country, that's how they build their houses. Yeah? This is as a result of the settlement that the captives that arrived in Sierra Leone. And these were a combination of Nigerians, Sierra Leoneans, Ghanaians, the Gambians. And when they came, they had to form a very unique culture known as the esoteric groups, wherein they have the Ogunu, traditional dancers. And this is when you visit the provincial town. These are the paramount chiefs do pour libation. They use the animal horn to do it and to welcome you to Freetown, Sierra Leone. There's a picture of a slave. This was done by a student from the Bassie College of Education and Technology. In here, we do restrict photography. Okay. It's being restricted.
Okay.
So,
In this room or in the next one?
Inside
Next
here.
one. Okay.
We can video or just
We don't restrict.
I hung back in this room because this is the Limba. Those were the Limba traditional houses, but also spiritual artifacts are my passion. I would love to sit here and ask her what every single one means, but there wasn't time. We all need to join all the petitions and the fight for Africa to get back her spiritual artifacts that were stolen, that are being housed in mainly European museums.
Before they finally built this church, but we are going in there quickly because we have a 4 p.m. tour.
We literally jumped out, but then decided to jump right back in because we didn't want to be late for the chimpanzee tour. But that was the first church that the enslaved Africans that came back, the Maroons, built.
These are called bodos. These houses here has been over 200 years. Yes. Stone was used to build the basement because of the raining season. And then this tiny police station in front of you was also built here for 300 people still in existence. And then there's a 4-stone church, St. Charles Church up there. So we are going to Tacugama Chimp Sanctuary. These are rescued chimps who are rescued from homes or from hunters. In Sierra Leone, people were using the meats as a bush meat. So they will kill the mother and collect the baby and tame them at home. But whilst they are in homes, they teach them how to go to markets, how to put on the TV, how to smoke, how to drink. So they want to give them back a life in the jungle. So the government levied a law saying nobody should keep a chimp at home. If you try that one, it's a $5,000 fine and you have to serve jail time. So that's how chimps we are relocated here.
Our bus was so big it couldn't make this steep incline, so we had to get out and walk like for literally a minute, but boy, was I struggling. That's why I'm at the back of the pack. Did I get my exercise? Yes, I did. We did a lot of walking today, y'all, but everything was so amazing. Going to the chimpanzee sanctuary. Let me tell you, it's been an emotional day. Positive, all positive, but just heavy. I'm gonna fill you in, guys. I'm gonna fill you in. But I can't wait to meet the chimpanzees. Welcome to Tacugama Chimpanzee Sanctuary.
Well, I just know before start.
Thank you.
My name is Suleiman, and I'm with Emmanuel. So we are the tour guides.
Hello.
Tacugama was founded in November 1985, and the main work we do here is to rescue and rehabilitate orphan chimpanzees.
We all had to wear masks just in case, just as a precaution not to pass anything like COVID to the chimps. That just shows how much they're like us. Our tour guide even showed us like how you can tell their different face expressions, what they mean, when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're angry.
Here are the two spoons. So that's why we have this nest of protection.
Hilarious. Did you hear what he just said? He said, do not stand there, stand behind this mesh, because if they feel like it, they'll throw a stone at you and they don't miss. Play around and find out. So he's just telling us cool stuff about the sanctuary and about chimps. Basically, there's different parts of the sanctuary where the chimps are allowed to transition in and out of, like, because obviously some of them are abused and traumatized, so some have to be in cages until they're not going to be a harm to other chimps. This is a play area where they're allowed to be, and you can see like they choose a leader, and the leader basically has to be fair and just, and if he becomes a bully, they'll overthrow him and pick a new leader. So it's just interesting to see how they all move and interact. Like you can see these, they're very playful and very low-key aggressive, like us. So you can kind of see them just almost getting into a fight. I know this view isn't the best view, don't worry, I get some better close-ups once I figure out how to zoom in. You see them fighting right here? Mud ting, mud ting, mud ting. Run, run, run.
She needs to be strong, intelligent, and have support from the top rank male and females. And also, it must not be a bully. If you be a bully, you cannot protect the group, then they will easily gang up against you and overthrow you. Yeah.
Hi.
And he's sitting very close to the fence now. His name is Mortis, and he was a former leader in this group, but like he's a bully. So they all agreed one day to gang up against him, and he was beaten and overthrown. So since that day, Mark took over as a leader. And you can see they don't have much time for us. They spend more of their time in the forest. It's a clear indication telling us that they are more happy living in the forest than in human houses. So these are the reasons we tell people leave them in the forest, stop taking them to the house. Just like human, if they take you now and put in the forest with all kind of luxury, you will not be happy. So likewise, these animals, they are more happy in the forest than in human houses. Yeah.
How far does this go back? 4 acres.
So they have plenty of space to run.
So this was a group also where we have the Great Escape.
the story about Bruno. Maybe some of you might have read about that story. On the 23rd April 2006, we have the Great Escape. And there was a team here, a clever team named Guido. He was observing the way the chair staff open and close the slide door. So one day he took a big rock and was able to break the padlock, that one of them escaped, and go into the wild. After they escaped, one came back by himself. Yeah. Like this group, since that passed away, we have 4 guys around back home, so each will become a leader. We have Bingo, Chippy, Iglo, and AJ. So Bingo and AJ are better friends, while Chippy and Iglo are better friends. What is normally it is these 4 of them together, they fight to the lower teeth. The Goodsman happy, and the angry face you can see both the upper and the lower teeth. On the face of fear you can see the 2 canine teeth. Naturally, chimpanzees are very much aggressive. They fight one another. But the most unique thing about them is when they fight in a group, within 5 to 10 minutes, they easily reconcile and they make peace. They don't hold grudge within themselves. So that's a big lesson for us, the humans.
Did you hear that, y'all? It says even though they fight a lot, they don't hold grudges. That's something that humans can learn from them. You heard?
So this is the last stage, and it's the biggest enclosure. This is 8 acres enclosure, and we have 50 chiefs that are living here. Here, the oldest among them is 32 years old, which is Tito, and the youngest is 5 years old, baby Sonia.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is a bunch.
That's a nest they built. Like this ones here now, they are qualified to be released, but like the only problem is that we don't have a specific site to release them now. We should have released them outside the sanctuary, the national protected area. But already we have other white chimpanzees that are living there. We have a record about 40. So if we release them, they come up.
We had taken a hike to get to this part, so this is another part of the sanctuary that's about 8 acres for them to be even more in the wild. So they kind of graduate to different spots in the sanctuary. So he told us a funny story that basically during certain seasons where there's so much fruit and stuff like that, some of them will even decide not to come in for feeding, like you're seeing them come in for feeding now, because they have so much food they don't need feeding time. So they're chilling. But our guide was saying these are the older ones that are coming now. So fascinating, y'all. This one is just chilling, watching us, like, what you looking at? So, like I said, they're going in for feeding. You can tell he's like, I'm gonna go in when I want to go in. Let me scratch myself, let me look at y'all again, and let me stand up like you do and walk inside. I'm gonna show you how they're just like us. Look how excited they get when it's food time. Listen to this noise. Yeah, they're screaming like, where's my food at? You told us to come in. It's 4 o'clock. Where's it at? On BSL Travel's page, I always see these amazing hikes they go on, and I so wanted to go on one of the hikes. I got my hikes in, y'all. This was a nice hike back to the other part of the sanctuary. I'm sweating like you can see, but it's good. I'm getting the toxins out. It's almost felt like we were in a rainforest. It was beautiful.
Someone and Rasta.
So this is the end of the story, and it's so funny because these are some of the same chimps that came through the gate, and now they have their food, and they are so quiet, so chilling, so happy. I'm so busy looking at the chimps, I almost fell down the stairs. Oh my goodness, just like me when I'm fed. So as we're leaving, we spot a stairway into the sky, like this metal wraparound staircase going up like till no man's land, and we're all like, yay, let's climb it. Like, first of all, we don't even know what we're climbing to, and then second of all, halfway up, I'm just like, follow the leader, following everyone, and halfway it hit me, I'm scared of heights, y'all. Like, it's not something that I'll really admit publicly, but yeah, I'm scared of heights. And like halfway, I'm like, no, I'm turning back. And then just out of somewhat peer pressure in the best type of way, because someone came up behind me and I would have had to make them turn back around in order to go back down. I just went up to the top, yo. But like, I was so having a low-key panic attack in my head. Like, I couldn't even film it for you guys properly. And this is me, I think, pausing, like, looking down, like, no, I'm going back. Like, I'm going back. Oh, wait. Oh, see? Here it is. I'm going back, and then someone's hand, they're coming back up, and I'm like, oh.
Nuh-uh. How much further?
Okay, fine. I'll go back up, because even
way.
to try to do the exchange to, like, no, we could have gone over the edge, so I'm just like,
Nope.
oh, that's when I have to pray. To pray, say a prayer, and I just dig deep. I'm going up, y'all. I'm going up. Sorry it's so shaky, but lucky I didn't drop my camera, because I was just thinking about survival, y'all. No, for real.
Are you guys at the top?
Unwinding. Unwinding. Unwinding.
I don't want to. Yeah, there's two of us.
And then I'm thinking, oh, I see nets now. They had nets because the chimps could throw rocks at you. I was like, I hope there's no chimps up here throwing rocks at us, y'all.
Okay, one sec.
But anyways.
Coming up.
Lorraine and Miles and James were up here, so I'm like, okay, if they can do it, alright, let me get up there, Whew, finally made it. You can hear me breathing heavily, huffing and puffing. That's not just because I'm out of shape, it was also fear, but we did it. Photo time.
Yo. Here we go, right here. Okay.
All African.
Yeah. Salon.
Say it with me. Photo shoot time.
Oh, look at the views, though. Yeah, it's dope. Oh, man. This is fantastic. They got a whole other enclosure there that they got closed off for now, I guess. They probably changed the habitat. The breeze coming through, too. I mean, a lot. And the trees are beautiful. You can tell they got like a unique structure to it.
Let me just give you a little quick look down. Look at that black, how black it is under there. It's so black you can't see how far up we are. Like, it's only because I was low-key traumatized why I didn't take video or a picture of the actual staircase so you can see it going up, like, to the sky. Proud of us, though. We did that all for the views, just to show you the views up here. Like, we're some chimps in the trees. Okay, let's find out what this plaque says. Tacugama Reserve, the Queen's Commonwealth Canopy. Like, what queen? Like, don't get me started again. Don't get me started again. Anyways, it's time to go down. I was told to go backwards because it's easier, so I'm trying that. And then I spun around because I'm like, nah. And then I think he got a Charlie horse, so I'm waiting patiently, but I, like, legit need to get down. Like, I'm so scared. I'm, like, literally flipping out in my head. Why did I do this? Okay, look over the edge. This is, like, halfway down. Now we can look up where it came from. Ooh, the second I did that, I was like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, let me just speed up and get down before I just start crying here on the staircase.
Don't look down,
and
Nadia.
then
Don't look down.
I'll be the butt of everyone's jokes for the rest of the night. So let me just get down. You can see the boots of everyone else down there. Another prayer.
Ow.
I got this, y'all. I got this. Things we get ourselves into. Okay. Now, this was a dope fair that we decided to go to. Instead of just going to the dinner at our hotel, Muktaro, our VSL travel boss, invited us to a fair where there's like restaurants, there's vendors, there's all sorts of different like crafts and vibes and music. So like we were like, heck yeah, like we were so tired. We had a long day. You can tell what type of long day we all had. You just experienced it. Because are you still here with me? Don't forget to put in those 3 hearts if you're still here near the end. But yeah, we went in to the fair to get a little like feel for Salone vibes, you know. And there's Muktaro, BSL boss, nicest person. So we were so happy to see him. So we went inside and basically, you know what your girl had to go straight to. No, it's not the food first, because I am a food first type of gal. But yeah, this is where I ended up. Looking at the amazing clothes, I just wish I had gotten the names of all the different people here because everyone was on point. The fashion was on point. I'm just lucky that I didn't have cash on me like that because it wasn't a shopping day, or else I would have bought up that. I would have bought up that.
Very nice.
Yeah, the fashion as a whole, Sierra Leoneans, just like Jamaicans, I'm like, whenever I go to Jamaica, I'm like, oh, this is where I get my stuff from, like, swag for days. And same thing with Sierra Leoneans. Sierra Leoneans can dress and, like, style. That dress, like, how did that miss me? That purple tie-dye with the yellow, like, that is so me. Like, low-key, I'm going to figure out how to find that same person and buy that dress.
See, I need to ask, this might be Sierra Leone. They keep on saying that Sierra Leonean print is like, looks like tie-dye. Like it doesn't look like kente, and I wonder if it's this.
You know what I'm saying?
When Mictaro's done, I'm gonna ask him. Not that. Okay.
Is this a Sierra Leone shrine in China?
Nigerian, okay. So which one is Sierra? Because they keep on saying tie-dye.
So just to give you context of what we're talking about, you know, different African fabrics, they mean different things and they're from different countries. So like we all know kente cloth, but that's Ghanaian. So a lot of the fabric that I was trying to buy there in Sierra Leone, I'm like, yeah, but which one is Sierra Leonean? And so that is yet to be shown to you guys, and I'll show it to you guys in upcoming episodes.